Minnesota feels like the best
for him.
one for me.
Okay.
And the best fit. And I know a lot of folks want to get there, too. Yeah. So it may not be that it's a clear path for him.
Right.
But that feels like one that really makes a lot of sense in my mind.
We need some clarity. It's great that you're here because we've been here for 2 days.
I'm supposed to provide it?
Yes. Okay. and we're told nobody's worth picking at third overall. And this team.
So just passed. Remember the Vikings passed 1 year.
Yeah.
Right?
And then Malik Willis is going to get $40 million. So we need to be talked
40.
off a ledge here. Let's start with quarterback. The Malik Willis situation, I just feel like it's agent-driven, changing by the day. Your thought process as it relates to Arizona and a potential fit
Agent-driven is what you said?
Yeah, with some of those figures that are being thrown out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard sometimes to – because, it's coming from and through the agent sometimes.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I don't rely upon the information I'm getting here unless it's not coming from the agent, if that makes any sense. And I don't – here's the problem I have with the numbers. I don't think teams are talking numbers right now. And it's agents that have high-profile free agents who said, I talked to one earlier today. It was just like, I'm not giving them numbers. They kept asking me for numbers. I'm not giving. I said, it only does you a disservice. It only doesn't help you at this point.
Right.
I have agents who say I'm not taking meetings because the meetings here have gotten less specific over the years. There was it used to be that free agency was right after the combine.
Right.
And I'll give you a perfect example. The Albert Hainsworth deal got done literally in the middle of St. Elmo's with everybody watching. Dan Snyder was sitting with the agent, and for everybody to see, wanted them to see.
Yeah. Right.
And then 5 days later, they signed him. Now, other teams made a run. The Giants made a run. I think the Patriots maybe made a run. Somebody else did. But he wound up signing with the guy that he was having dinner with in front of everybody. That doesn't happen anymore. There's too much of a gap there. You can't show your hand this early because everybody else is going to know what's up, give them time to adjust, and then all of a sudden. So it's not quite what it used to be here. So when you start to see this stuff about $30 million and $40 million, there are guesses. There are educated guesses. There are also guesses that are wrong to the low side. There are guesses that are wrong to the high side. So I don't really get too locked in with the numbers yet. This time next week, I'll feel differently about it, though.
Well, when you look at it as far as just trying to maybe pit players with openings, right, as far as the quarterbacks goes, who's going to even drive that price up? I mean, you're talking about Miami as one of the potential suitors for Malik Willis, but, I mean, how cap-strapped they are, I don't even think they can get it up that high.
I think that Mac Jones would be more likely for Miami than Malik Willis because he'd come at a lower price.
Right.
It'd be a trade. And now for him, he probably would want a contract to go along with it.
Yeah.
Or says, you know what? I'm going to win the job. I'm going to play well, and then I'm going to get the big number next year. It's up to him at that point what he wants to do or how he wants to handle it, and that'd be part of the conversations. Would you rather go somewhere, be a starting quarterback, maybe for a team that's not going to be that good, or hang in San Francisco and say, and listen, a lot of it's not up to him if it is a trade, but you could stall that one by saying, I'm not coming unless we got a new contract, otherwise don't even expect me to show up, something like that. You can play these kinds of things as a player and as an agent. But economically on the books, that makes more sense to me for what Miami wants to do. The problem is San Francisco's going to want a lot of compensation draft-wise for that. So, yeah, I don't know that there are going to be a lot of teams in this, and I think this is one where you could see, hey, it's going to be 30, 40 million, and it doesn't wind up getting there because you guys diagnosed it correctly here. We shall see.
Do you think Malik is an option for the Cardinals?
I do. Yeah, I do. And I think it'd be more one that they'd prefer to be more economical than some of the numbers that we're talking about because of what they're going to have to take on the chin when it comes to Kyler Murray. So when you start to, if you can get it in the 20s, it's 25. Let's throw a number out there. Let's say it's 25. Plus what you're committing to Kyler to get rid of him, average it out, and you go, it's not great.
Right.
But
for 1 year.
But it's not bad in terms of what other teams are spending for, $60 million for Dak. Yeah, you're getting Dak along with it. But you can at least say, well, it's within the budget of an NFL team at the quarterback position.
Well, you told us a couple weeks ago, it's not. They're not putting all their eggs in the Malik Willis basket. Often, I mean, I'm sure Seattle didn't do this, even though they felt like Sam Darnold has a good chance of it. You've got a group of guys, right? So in order, if you feel like you don't have any leverage or like the price is too high for Malik Willis, there's rumblings that the Arizona Cardinals are tied to some trade targets as far as quarterbacks go. Most recently, Tyson Bagent from the Bears. His coach, his GM were speaking so glowingly of him yesterday and even said, hey, we love Tyson, but at the same time, this is a guy that we want to see get this opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, what would he potentially command with them kind of gassing him up like they did?
Draft pick compensation-wise, I find it hard to believe. I mean, he has had starting experience, but it's not like you saw it like Malik,
right,
and said, "Oh, wow, this is the guy." So and they love him as a backup.
Right,
by the way, I'm not talking him down at all.
Great guy.
Right. Yes, not talking him down at all. But the reason they did that deal was to sort of get in front of it and get themselves a little bit more time with him.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you can turn that into, it's a. I said this it's on Philly radio, All City Network.
Yeah.
With Cuz out there?
Cuz.
Yeah.
When we were not getting into a screaming match with each other.
That was so good.
Yeah, which everybody, I mean, that afterward I was like, what are you, what's screaming? What's how we talk?
Yeah. It's good content.
I was his producer for 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, back in Philly. That's how I started. Now, my brother-in-law is his second cousin.
Oh, okay.
His Gargano, last name. But he didn't know that. So I started, and he goes, who are you? And I was like, actually, I got some connections. So there was no nepotism, brother-in-lawing, none of that.
Right.
But once he found, then I was under his wing. So, anyway, Jalen Hurts. We were talking about that. To this day, and nobody's ever said this, I am convinced that the plan was Jalen Hurts, second-round pick, play a little bit, packages, preseason, this kind of thing, and flip him for a 1. Mm-hmm. So anytime you can turn your backup quarterback into collateral, basically, and draft pick compensation, that's a great thing. So if it gets to that point for the Bears, and they're going to have conversations. I have no doubt they'll have at least a conversation, probably already had it, about a feeler, what's it going to take, that kind of stuff. You get into the mid-round pick scenario, in my mind, that's a no-brainer.
Right.
Then you do that deal.
Right.
I just don't know the teams are going to go that high. We'll see.
And the Cardinals are trying to be creative. And, listen, there's no perfect solution out there for them. Mm-hmm. We both agree, probably going to have to cut Kyler Murray here. You don't think they're going to get a pick for him at this point.
And to take on all of that, what they're trying to get rid of, and the compensation on top of that, I mean, there's ways to be creative about it, and maybe they do, and maybe it's like we take a little bit and, we get something back for it. But if you're Kyler, why are you facilitating any of that stuff? So I think in the end they wind up cutting him, and then he gets a chance to control. And knowing his agent and what he's been, I can't imagine he goes, I'm going to do you guys any favors.
Right.
Especially because the agent repped Cliff Kingsbury, who was then let go. So he's got a lot.
They're still paying him.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. So how many head coaches they paying now? 3?
I mean, I'm sure some
1,
of
2,
it
3,
offset, right?
Yeah.
But
and
Gannon had one more year. I'm sure he got a pretty good deal with the Packers to be their DC.
Yeah. I know sometimes I've heard those conversations that guy will get a big title.
Yeah.
And the number will be low, and the previous team will be like, what the heck?
Come on, guy.
With that title, that's all you're paying him?
Right.
Let's get – so they almost – because they understand, that's going to be us with somebody else soon, that kind of thing. So they sort of negotiate that way, and it all comes out in the wash.
Yeah.
Are you surprised Cliff's not a play caller this year in the NFL?
Yeah. Yeah, I am. Yeah.
What's his title? Assistant head coach?
No, he's offensive coordinator, but I think with the assistant head coach, right?
Yeah.
No, he's not offensive coordinator, right?
He's assistant
That's Shieldhouse.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you're right. I'm only surprised because there was interest from Baltimore. There was interest from the Giants. There was interest from who else did he interview with? I'm blanking. But
Tennessee,
there was
maybe?
Yeah.
No. Tennessee. Yeah, he interviewed in Tennessee, right?
Yeah, he did. Yes.
And a lot of it's how it would have fallen if Daboll goes to, let's say, Philly, right? Which was never going to happen over Tennessee. But if Daboll goes to Philly, now all of a sudden that's a different scenario potentially there. So had it fallen differently, would have. But there's this notion of he gets figured out, and it just runs its course in places. I don't know if that's necessarily fair, at least in Washington, because it sounds like there were other factors at play. It sounds like there were other factors from above in play in Washington.
Let's talk about this high wire act that Monty Austinford has to pull off, right? We talk about Gannon. He exits. He was 15-36.
Yeah.
Monty's still there.
Mm-hmm.
He still has that on his resume. What type of urgency does he have this offseason, especially where the quarterback market's not great? How much urgency should he have to kind of try to turn this around or flip the arrow in the right direction?
Well, maybe Malik goes somewhere and he takes off and he never looks back and he's starting and frankly, the guys that have done it recently, with Sam Darnold being foremost in our minds, have proven that it can happen. Right. And so
Baker.
Baker. And so maybe I mean, Malik wasn't as highly drafted, so at least these guys were top 1 to 3
But
picks.
even like a Mac Jones had success recently.
Well, for also a first-round pick, right? Like,
Right.
so
Yeah.
I mean, every time you take a look around the league and you go, who are the later drafted quarterbacks? And, Brock Purdy comes up and Dak Prescott comes up, and it's just so rare because there's so many first-round picks and high first-round picks that are quarterbacks in the NFL. It's like it's hard to – but sometimes it's like, are they committed to that because of where they drafted them? Anyway.
But you were here in 2022 when everybody thought Malik Willis was going to be a first-round pick.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
And then if, for whatever reason it didn't happen. I'm just
right.
I remember that draft where, remember you walked that old woman across the street and people were going nuts. Remember that viral video? And people are like, yeah, this guy's going to go first overall.
Who was the guy that was like giving money to a homeless guy here one time? Oh,
I don't remember
was
that.
It him?
It might have been.
It was here at the combine.
Yeah.
And there was somebody shooting it from inside the convention center.
Yeah.
You see like or he gave him some food or something like that.
Yeah.
It may have been Malik. Double check me on that.
Okay.
But, anyway. The answer to your question is they feel like short-term fixes.
For sure.
Until you get to that long-term fix. And next year, I mean, I thought Arch Manning was sensational in the bowl game.
He was awesome.
Like, I was salivating watching that game. I'm like, that dude might wind up. Who was it? There you go. Give me some.
Yeah, you're right.
Give me some. When Malik Willis gave his NFL Combine clothes and shoes to a homeless person. I said it wasn't food, it wasn't money, it was clothing. That was awesome. Yeah. And that was a great moment here at the Combine. The hell was I saying?
Arch Manning.
Arch Manning, yeah.
Right.
So next year's going to be a robust quarterback class. And not that you're tanking, but if you go all out with Malik, you're trying to win. You're trying to have that urgency of Monty. Whereas the best thing for you, if you can survive the next year, might be to place yourself better in the draft next year. It's kind of the way that I would do it, especially with an offensive coach that's got the chance to potentially work with a young guy and move forward with him. That's how I'd play it, but we'll see.
But look, if Bonnie does that, if he wears it one more year, I mean, to get in a position to get Arch, let's say 1 or 2 or whatever, however these quarterback class develops. I mean, he's going to have less than 20 wins probably as a general manager.
I understand that. So you've got to convince ownership that this is the way that we're going to go.
Okay.
Because you're also in a division where these other 3 teams are going to be good, and it's going to be hard to get up into playoff contention. So why not just take it on the chin for one more year?
What have I told you? Michael Bidwell thinks and assumes that they're going to win next year.
I would say yes. I've heard him say the same things, and I would also hope that someone would be able to explain to him what's best for 2026 might not be best for the long haul of this organization.
How significant is the Matt LaFleur relationship with Mike and Malik, and how significant could that play into – I mean, I remember when Jordan Love, we thought he popped his Achilles 2 years ago, and he had to sit, and Malik comes in and basically saved their postseason chances. What did he go, 4-0 with Matt? You would assume Matt's giving Mike a ringing endorsement. He got Nathaniel Hackett hired there. We heard, Matt Schaub gets hired there on his recommendation. Feels like it's a continuation of that potentially.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big part of it, and I think he's going to be convinced that he's right. And like, this guy's ready, and you can take what we've reestablished here and continue on that in that trajectory. I think that's going to be a big part of it. And again, it's going to come down to the financials and how much they want to extend themselves and whether there's another horse in this race that we're not looking at necessarily. There's a lot of chairs to be filled, a lot of chairs at the quarterback position to be filled. So,
what happens with Kirk Cousins?
I think he's one of the last ones, but I think it's toward a team that potentially misses out on somebody. And it's not going to be at numbers he's used to making, which he understands. And it's going to be, if he can, in a situation where he can compete and can play winning football. Because it's not going to be a game manager thing, but it's going to be a winning football, winning quarterback type of thing. That's going to be the sell. Look how well he played down the stretch for a team that won games down the stretch and maybe should have been able to continue in Atlanta.
Yeah. Atlanta's a strange, thing too.
I don't know why they're cutting him, and it's like closing the door to his return.
Yeah,
and maybe they don't. Maybe they circle back and go, "Hey, we had an idea for what we want to do, and Penix doesn't look like he's going to be ready, so we want to circle back." That's not what they communicated to Kirk.
Right. Yeah,
but I think that's going to be the kind of situation where he winds up with a team that goes, maybe he was 4th on our list, but we wound up, and we feel pretty good about it.
Does Derek Carr come out of retirement?
Yes.
Where does he end up? Because he's saying he wants to play for a Super Bowl. It's like
right. It wouldn't be the Jets.
Right.
I think the Jets do and would have interest.
Okay.
Minnesota feels like the best
for him.
one for me.
Okay.
And the best fit. And I know a lot of folks want to get there, too.
Yeah.
So it may not be that it's a clear path for him.
Right.
But that feels like one that really makes a lot of sense in my mind.
What about?
Because then you're not necessarily even giving up on J.J. McCarthy.
Right.
You know, it's like Derek's coming. He'll play a year, maybe two, maybe. We can still work with J.J. and still have him show him the ropes.
It's like you feel all these spots, and you're like, where's Kyler land? Where does he go? And
Not
I mean, it's going to be like Russ when he goes to the Steelers, and it's like, what, $1.5 million? It's chump change.
Yeah. And it could wind up being as a premium backup spot, right? I know it's kind of crazy.
That is nuts.
But that may be better for him than
I think so.
Miami. Or,
Like Indy, like as DJ comes back.
As a backup, you're saying. Yeah.
KC maybe.
A lot of places. A lot of places that you could wind up as a backup quarterback and be fine. And maybe, I don't know. Thinking of some crazy ones that I don't even want to say out loud. But, it's just he'll have options.
Yeah.
He will. The question is, do you want to go in a situation where you're going to not be successful and then you further bury yourself?
Right.
So we'll see.
Unbelievable stuff. Mike Garafolo, check out his work all week. How long are you here till? Monday, Tuesday next week?
No.
You're not here grinding?
No, I'm leaving Friday. I'm out of here.
Do you still do the St. Elmo's? Do you do the whole circuit here?
I haven't been to St. Elmo's in 5 years, maybe.
Wow. What do you do at night?
You don't need to open up your sinuses with that shrimp cocktail?
One of my buddies who's in the business, he's an agent, lives in Indianapolis and has taken me to, and they're always empty.
Yeah.
Great. But some of the great restaurants. So there's this downtown pocket here.
Sure.
Where I patrolled for 15 years.
Yeah.
And then he's like, why are we going? There's plenty of other places. Let's go. So there's this pocket here, and then you drive, and you think you're out of the downtown. And then there's this other downtown area, a little bit further north of here, that's got great restaurants. There's some Asian places. There's a Thai place called Bodhi, I think, and it's no reservations, and it's always packed. And so we never go there anymore because, I don't want to have to wait for an hour, especially with the show on at night. There's another one called, begins with an M. So awesome. Anyway, the Fountain Room, I think we went to last night, really good. So we go to all these places that nobody here knows about because I got an inside man here.
Yeah.
And so that's where I spend most of my time. And then tonight I have dinner with somebody else, but I'll go back to one of the places that we've been to previously.
Yeah.
So I get out of this area. I've done enough eating in this area.
Wow. All right. That seems like the play moving forward.
Dude,
I'm having trouble.
You're not that big time.
I'm having
What's the
trouble
other place?
functioning after St. Elmo's last night.
No.
I'm
Hold on a
having a
second.
very difficult time today.
I got to get the name of the other place because it's unbelievable. Matter of fact, it was the place we went last year after Rappaport had his fight with Modita. After Rappaport had his fight with Jordan Schultz. And I'm like, I got to get him. So I got to get him out of downtown.
We got to smuggle him out.
So we had to get him out and regroup.
Yeah.
And then he made his triumphant return downtown later that night after we had kind of assessed the damage and what's going to be the situation here. But Modita, that's a great spot. So Modita, Fountain Inn. We got to stop saying this though. Schrager went on Instagram today, and he's like, forget the bars. The best place to see people in Indianapolis is breakfast at Cafe Patachou. And I'm like, dude, shut up. Shut up. Because now people, growing up and maturing at the Combine is realizing you don't have to stay out till 2 a.m.
Right.
You can get a good night's sleep and see the same people, or different people, but the same group of it, at 7 a.m.
Smart.
Over coffee and omelets and take your time there. And the food's there is incredible. So I got to tell them that. Now maybe if we both, because I reposted as real, so maybe we'll get preferential seating.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, but they don't need it because the business is there is so hopping. So.
See, we were striking out trying to stalk Mike LaFleur last night until the wee hours.
Well,
this is the play.
Head coaches are they're that's like seeing Bigfoot. They don't once they become head coaches, they I can't go to the bar and do that. But you might see them out at a place like Patachou.
Sure.
Yeah, I had the realization last night. It was like, man, some the popular night spots here, they've changed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn it. And I'm like, actually, me and Johnny and our crew are the reason for that because they push out.
I'm breaking down physically after this week, so this is good for me.
Well, it's good that free agency isn't for another week, so you get a chance to regroup and.
We tell our wives we get to throttle down, but it really never happens. We really never.
No,
get
it
to
does. After free agency is the league meeting in Arizona, which you guys will be at, I assume.
Oh,
so I'll be there. And that's more of a chill, casual event. Yeah. But that's the end of the news cycle.
Yeah.
Because once you get into the draft, you're not like there's stuff to report on when it's trades or whatever.
Right.
But everybody knows that we don't really know when it comes to the draft.
Right.
So there's no pressure to be right.
Right.
You just provide like, hey, and I gave you guys as many Cardinals visits last year as I possibly could. And sometimes those lead you to the guys that are interested in. Sometimes they're bringing them in because they got questions and they don't like the answers and they're not interested in them after all said and done. But, that's the kind of stuff you report on. So that's chill. Weather warms up in Jersey. You can play a little golf. So that's really the sweet spot for me once we get to April.
Fast forward to next fall. Who's this team's starting quarterback? Then we're going to let you go. Because I think we asked you 2 or 3 weeks ago, and you said pass.
Can I still pass?
Okay. Give him one more pass?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
We'll give him one more pass.
He just gave us a wealth of information.
We'll give him one more pass.
And a great restaurant rack.
He did.
Well, am I doing one more before the start of the league year?
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
So then I can make my final, okay, I've thought about it. I've ruminated on it. I've talked to other people. Now I feel good about
unbelievable
blank.
Stuff.
Yeah. Are we going to be able to talk to you during tampering? I mean, that's such a busy time for you.
No, there's a week before that.
Yeah. Okay.
So next week.
Next week.
Yeah. Next week is before the legal negotiating window.
The tampering
because it's
window.
not tampering if it's legal.
Right.
So Mike G will be on the show next week with his official prediction of who's going to lead this franchise fall of 2026. And we're waiting. Bated breath. We appreciate you, Mike.
Yep.
Phenomenal stuff this week. Check out his coverage, of course, on all his social platforms.
I think I'm being stalked for another interview. I gotta get rushed. Yeah, so I'm gonna throw the headset down.
Or do you want to slow?
Out of here.
Do you need to slow play this?
It's like you smuggling Rappaport
Maybe
out of that restaurant. Johnny's gonna have to help you.
Is there a back door over Bo's shoulder?
There is. Yeah. There is. Yes, 100%. So we have our producer.
Yeah, you
kind
can
of
go
shuffle
with
you
Yeah,
out.
our producer
100%.
can play the.
Okay.
Wow. This is what you don't see. Behind the scenes.
You can
we got a show to do. I really did that bad. I don't even need. That's my excuse. I gotta go.
You got the insiders tonight, right?
Got the insiders.
All right, can't wait. We're gonna be watching. We're always watching the insiders.
Mike Garafolo.
I had a guy.
Unbelievable.
I had an agent. I gotta stop. See.
No, you did.
I had an agent. It's like I don't watch your show because I already know everything you guys say. I'm like, oh, thanks. That's really makes me feel great because you know so much about the business that you know everything about every team at every moment. Get lost. I'm talking to you. All right, I gotta go. Bye.
See you, Mike.
Mike Garafolo.
Our NFL insider. Unbelievable stuff. Check him out, of course, on our channel and then on All City.
That's right. PHLY with Kaz Gargano.
We won't yell at Mike
where he got his humble,
like Gargano
one of his humble
will, though.
beginnings. It's unbelievable.
Yes. Very good stuff.